Hi, good morning, everybody. It's really a pleasure to be speaking to you today on the platform of Womenovator. I must compliment its founder, Mrs. Tripti Somani, for putting this entire program together. She's really worked tremendously hard and she's determined to take the cause of the women entrepreneurs forward, which is a very noble cause, and we know that it is going to be one of the important future pillars for the growth of India, the participation of women in the economy, more going towards gender equality at workplace, slowly and steadily. Strategic planning, the subject on which we are going to talk today, is of prime importance in life, be it in any sphere: sports, politics, arts, literature, business. You need a strategy. Unless you have a strategy, you will not be able to reach your destination. Strategy is making which is the best and the fastest road you can make to reach to your destination, which could be your company's objective, your mission, your vision, whatever. The question is to strategize your entire system of thinking, strategize thinking in everything you do, and you will find your probability of success rate will be much more. Because in strategy, what do? We assess where we are and where we plan to go, and how do we go there. Now, having said that, we must also be able to communicate externally as well as internally on various aspects. It could be marketing of your company, on procurement strategy, on logistics strategy, on manufacturing, on technology, finance, whatever. The question is to get information, to get that awareness as to what's happening externally, what's happening in India, what's happening internationally. Why? Because you need these inputs, because unless you have these inputs, you will not be able to make a proper strategy to basically take your company forward, forge ahead. You will not be able to win, so you must have that knowledge or that awareness as to what is happening. And the best is your customers, your suppliers. We must communicate with them because we get honest feedbacks from them. And their constant feedback, they help us in formulating a much more effective strategy because they are the direct stakeholders. The strategy with your bankers, your corporate affairs strategy, what do you do with the various government departments if you have any proposals which are stuck and how to basically get through. And another issue is, which is the most important, and that is where strategy fails, is that we do not tend to involve the people who are responsible to execute that strategy. So employee involvement, say we want to execute a strategy in production department and a particular part of the production department, and if there are 6 people being affected, all the 6 must be involved in a proactive discussion and thereby involved in making the strategy to reach whatever destination that particular group wants to reach and resolve the problem of the shop floor. Now you will find once that is done, the implementation is at the speed of thought, and the implementation will be quality oriented, it will be effective, because why? Everybody is involved. And that is the biggest secret which I have learnt in my 43 years of experience, that implementation, if you need, which is lacking everywhere, then involve your people, involve them to the maximum extent possible. You will find your execution, your implementation rate percentage improves. Because see, execution and implementation of decisions are very, very essential part of getting your strategy to work for you. Because unless you don't implement, nothing moves. Now we have a lot of benefits also of strategy. Say you can make a strategy as what is the strategy you will adopt in increasing the productivity. If you are giving input today of 100 and considering your process rejection or whatever, machine downtime, or maybe the lethargy workman, instead of an output of 100, you're getting an output of 80 or 85. So you're not getting full productivity. So the question is to concentrate on productivity, because one thing we must all understand today, that unless we produce, we have no right to consume. And to produce effectively, you need low cost, high productivity, because you have competition looming just outside your factory door. You got to face that competition. So it's very essential for every corporation in every aspect to see where productivity can be increased. Even in person, my productivity, your productivity, we have to see on a daily basis, how do we increase our productivity? What is the input we give in our mind, and what is the output we get from our body during the whole day? So we have to constantly see that. Another point in strategy is strength and weaknesses. Our own, our major suppliers, our major customers, or rather all our customers, then we can play it like a chess game, like a war game, as to how to place the example, a war game, how to place your army, what is the ammunitions you require, how you're going to attack, how you're going to defend in various areas where you might be vulnerable. So this entire strategy has to be worked out only with the sole aim that we are to win, we are to capture. Now, how will that be done? That can only be done once we know our strengths and weaknesses, and we know the strengths and weaknesses of our enemy. Then we can make an effective strategy as when to attack, when to retract, how to attack, what kind of ammunitions to be used, how much javans you need, what are the other infrastructural resources you need. So all that has to come, because that is very, very essential. And basically strategy also gives a direction to your business. It gives a direction to the thoughts of everybody in the organization. Then the thoughts slowly start in a uniflow direction, and you find the whole company working towards the ultimate strategic intent and the strategic objective of the company. And these kind of companies they constantly keep on improving, growing, innovating, coming out with new products, managing their finances much more effectively. Now, a lot of people feel that ab strategy kya banayega, this, because why? They feel they have everything in their head. So it's no point going through the painful exercise of putting it on a paper and having so much of discussions. But they do not realize that until thoughts are put on paper, you don't get a clarity. Nobody is asking anybody to make a huge volume of very, very big Greek epic or Indian epic. We just want a crisp document, well written, that this is the issue, these are the strategies, these are the total resources required, and this is going to be the outcome, and this is the time frame, and these are the people involved. So automatically that is assigned start date, implementation date and completion date, everything fixed. Automatically accountability and responsibility comes, and you start seeing implementation, and once you start seeing implementation, you start seeing the wheels of your company are working much more smoother. And even making a strategy keeps you away to the extent possible from going in a negative way. Because why? You have seen the future, you have assessed the strengths and weaknesses, you have seen the present environment, and then you have decided to move. So your move would be much more stronger. It would be on a stronger ground. And even the step you take, you'll feel much more confident of winning, because we must all learn that we must know the art of orchestrating a winning performance for our company. And that 1% extra we must give in terms of outcome, at least in one fiscal year. So, 400 employees, company gets 400% extra. This is all a part of strategy. Everything is strategy. Today, if I take you back to history, Chandragupta Maurya time, what was Chanakya? The best and a strategical mind which we see. Chanakya Niti, zillions of books written. Chanakya Niti being followed, Chanakya Niti being taught. And what does Niti mean? Niti means strategy. So that's why it's very, very important to be strategically focused, and very, very important for the organization to sort of develop a strategic ecosystem within their company. Now, to basically take you down to the ground level, and the last part of my talk on strategy is, now let's take a company, a hypothetical company, company X. Now, it has different departments. It has a marketing department, it will have a HR department, it will have a finance department, a R&D, innovation, production planning and dispatch, engineering department, environmental department, so on and so forth. You have, depending on the sector and the nature of the product you make, the industry, you have to build up the ecosystem. Now, what happens? These departments, if you assume, are like balls, and the company is in the center. Now, they have to move. See, it's like a ball bearing. They have to move in complete synchronity for the ball bearing to move absolutely 360 degrees, so that there is no wobbling. This is what is most important to look at, that microscope eye with which you can judge the effectiveness of the issue or the gravity of the issue and how you're going to get to the root of the problem to solve it. That's all strategical thinking. Now let's get now straight down to these departments now. You have the marketing department. Let's take the marketing department for example. You have marketing within India, international marketing. Now you got to make marketing strategies. What will be your marketing strategies in India? What will be your marketing strategies in internationally? Components of marketing we all are very familiar with: pricing, distribution, market share, competition, so on and so forth. So you have to go through the entire rigmarole of analyzing the entire competitive environment, international separate, domestic separate, the supply environment, the demand environment, the growth which you are expecting, the growth which the customer is going to get in their segment, because customers' growth is your growth, customers' degrowth is your degrowth. So it's very important to keep a tab on what's happening with your customer, how his market is also growing. And then you will have to see small things like, I mean, they're not small, but they're very big, but they're very important. What will be your packing? What will be your logistic strategy? What will be your strategy in servicing your customers? What will be your strategy in collecting payments from your customers? Similarly, the same things will apply when you do internationally. So, you take the manufacturing department. Again, you need a manufacturing strategy. Now, if I get into the details, it will take a long time, but I just wanted to explain the concept to you, that each department has to have a strategy for the year, that these are the major outcomes we have to achieve this year, and this is the road we are going to take for each of these outcomes. Once that road is discussed, and that is the most important thing, discuss, discuss and discuss, and then freeze it, and then just implement it. I mean, as Nike says, just do it. We need not sit back and think. Once we start, problems will come. That is the fun of working in the company, is constantly surmounting those challenges to ultimately reach to your strategic goal which you have decided. And see, strategic need not be annual, and strategy is dynamic. Strategy also will change as per the change in the environment. So that flexibility, that adaptability has to be there. And the biggest and the most important thing in strategy making is the gift of anticipation. The moment you can anticipate, a leader, a CEO can anticipate in his business as to this might happen. Now say with the China factor, every company must be anticipating in their sector that this could happen, and these are the strategic moves and the changes they have to do, and they have to start now. So that's another very important feature of putting in strategic thought to this whole system. Now, we often call human resource department. I always call my department as people-centric department. Now, having a people strategy is very important, because today we must understand one thing in life: never step on self-esteem of anybody. That is the biggest harm you can do to demotivate your colleagues working in your company. And the biggest source of motivation is to motivate their self-esteem. Nobody likes their self-esteem to be trampled upon. So we must have even a human strategy in place as to how we get the teamwork going. And in teamwork, I often tell my people, see, teamwork is nothing but if you see the organs in a human body, you will understand what is teamwork. The stomach, the liver, the pancreas, the intestines, the heart, everything is so synchronized, everything is so interdependent that if they don't work as a team, your body does not work. Similarly, organizations doesn't work if you don't work as a team. And it is this team, led by a visionary and a very dynamic CEO, who is very humble and who has the capacity to give credit to his employees, and he's always behind them. But when it comes to a crisis, he comes in front. That is called a leader. That in crisis he's in front, in good times he's in the back, and the people under him are getting the credit. So to conclude now, I think I have sort of given a very broad and a basic thought on strategy, how important is strategy, and I hope I could give you some takeaways. But to conclude, just remember that in your businesses, wherever you've started, learn to make strategies. Learn to do brainstorming. Brainstorming within your organization, it is a best source of getting creative ideas, of developing the culture of creativity within your organization, of developing the culture of sharing of knowledge within your organization. That is a tremendous way of adding a lot of stainless steel to your strategy in terms of strength, because you're using other brains. So something like horsepower, you're using brain power to basically power your strategy. And with these words, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much.